So, unlike the tractor, this deck is very not solid. I think you guys can see the weight reduction down in here in the baffles. Yep. And to my knowledge, that spindle there turn. One of the spindles is locked up or something. Well, that one turns. What does this one do? I don't know. It might work. They're definitely stiff. They need greased, but I would say these spindles have been changed. Oh, there we go. I don't know. This deck might work yet. Yeah, there we go. Now everything's turning. Look, I just had to get the camera out and do that. I tried that a while ago and she wouldn't do diddly. So, I'll have to work on straightening the nose out there, which is kind of normal, and do a little welding on it. And I guess we'll toss it on the tractor and see if I can get it to work. The only thing I don't have is a PTO belt. I don't have a PTO belt, but I'll have to go look. I used to have a belt around here for my old case, and they should be the same, but all I can do is go and look. So, alright guys, that's it for the little Ingersoll. Little case Ingersoll. So, thanks for watching, and we'll catch everybody on the next one. Later. Just love it. I love it when something works out way better than you expected. Doesn't happen too often. I better write that down. Just so everybody knows, I do have a file blade for a case. A sticker on it, one side. Lift rods here. I had this on the 220 one time, and I nearly broke my arm trying it. Somewhere there's a big sticker on this thing that says Ingersoll. It's probably in the dirt right here, huh? Thought there was a... Maybe it's on the front of the blade. I don't know. Been a while since I monkeyed with case stuff. Alrighty guys, got the snow blade put on the Ingersoll 222 here. And this is actually Ingersoll blade. It kind of makes me sad to look at this blade because this blade was almost pristine whenever I put it over here. From what I remember. Maybe it was a little more used than what I remember, but anyhow, she ain't so nice. She's been sitting outside for 7 years now. It was pretty good before that. But got my first, well, one of my first babies out here. This is a 1974 Case 220 hydraulic drive. That gets happening, then we'll fix it right. But for right now, I'll probably go through my parts pile and just get it running, even if it's back to where it was, not charging the battery. So be it. But that's my intent. It's actually it's got 3 flat tires. I had a heck of a time. I wanted to use the 222 and pull it out, which it had a heck of a time since it was so hard to roll. It's been in that spot. Like I said, I would bet 2016, it's 2022, so right there would be 6 years would be my guess. So anyhow guys, enough jabber-jawing. I'm going to get this all moved around, and I got to put all these back in yet. So, and it's probably fairly late in the afternoon now. So anyhow, back in a bit guys. I just love this thing. Uh-oh. I'll make a liar out of me. Is it flooded? Ah! Cases actually have down pressure too, so I don't know if you guys can see it. It's picking the front wheels up off the ground a little bit. Awesome! Alright, I'm going to pick up my tools and get this drug around back. Alrighty guys, the Ingersoll 222 deck I'm working on here. Here's what I'm starting out with anyhow. I got the top cover off, and the mule drive and what I'll call the carriage was still on the tractor. I believe to get this cover off you're supposed to unbolt this in the back, slide it off to the right, and then just slide the cover back. Wasn't in the mood for that, but here's the major malfunction. This hanger is ripped out of here from so, roughly. I have to take a little bit of massaging. You can tell somebody pudding welded this back together once already, and the nose of this deck is all bent up. So I guess I'm going to do a little bit of hammer straightening and a little bit of grinding, so I got some clean metal to weld to, and I'll haul her out front so I can use my welder at the garage and see what I can do with this. Rusty garbage, rusty garbage. That's what I always spend time welding. What are you gonna do? Alrighty guys, so here's what I ended up with. I did forget to take a video while I still had the cover off there, but that's a whole lot better. And I welded up the cracks over here. Now my welds are by no means perfect, but it's a whole lot better than the gaping holes and cracks we had before. So we'll roll with it, right? Right. So I debated about bending this nose up a little bit, but in all reality it's not. The blades aren't hitting it, and it's not affecting the function, so I'm just going to leave it alone for now and put it back together. And I got to swipe some parts off the other deck. See, it's missing one J-hook there in the back. And as far as cotter pins and stuff don't matter, but yeah, we're missing that. And I'm going to get the snowplow taken off of this thing. I was monkeying around. At least I got the center pin out. I haven't got it to pivot yet. It's moved back and forth a little bit, but she kind of stuck. So I may just take the blade off, leave the pin out, and then I can dink with that later. Keep hitting it with blaster and whatnot, just trying to get it to move. I think it's just got so much rust filled up in between it there, it's just swelled up and I won't let it move. So anyhow, like I said, I'm gonna get what I need for this deck. Need to put one more bolt in the cover. There only is 2 bolts that hold it, plus some little locks in the front. But as askew as this deck is, I'm not too surprised that nothing is totally lining up except for the bolt holes. So anyhow, I'm gonna do that, and maybe I'll work on trying to get this auction number off the hood too. You know how it goes. Alrighty guys, I know I skipped about a half dozen steps here, but I did get the deck put on the case. I got the PTO belt put on, and there's some stuff that needs fixed here. And I also forgot to grease the spindles while I had this off. I meant to do that, but not like I can't take it back off and do it, I guess, or stand it up. But anyhow, there's stuff like the wheels rubbing on the deck and things like that. So anyhow, about the safest place to be when you go to try something out, never tried before, is on the seat. So let's crank it up and see if the PTO works. Now there's like no possible way to see the belt turning from the seat, I don't think. We'll just see if we can blow them leaves over there, and if we can do that, we're doing good. Go easy. So that's the first time I've ever even heard a deck spun up on a case, at least that I've owned, so I'm happy with that. Alright, that's good enough for me. I'm going to call it a night. It's about 8 o'clock at night, and yeah, got that working. I still got some kinks to work out. Like I said, some wheels look brand new, so somebody put them on and there's extra spacers behind them, and yeah, like I said, somebody was dinking with this thing and just didn't know what they were doing. It just needs all the demons ironed out of it. So I'm happy with that. So here's the wheels off the 222 here. I think you guys can see the problem. So pretty much this just needs a washer under it so it won't pull through the wheel. And this is actually supposed to be even with the edge of the wheel that much, and that's when you tighten it up. It's not supposed to tighten, or it's not supposed to clamp on the wheel. It's supposed to clamp on the shoulder, and that allows the wheel to spin. There's your problem. So I guess I'll take a little bit of sandpaper and clean this up. And I'll take a hammer and tap it down through, and then we'll find a washer that'll work on there, and we will go from there. Comprende, compadre? Comprende. Actually, the bolt's inside of the sleeve. Yeah, so it's just going to need a washer over there. Okay. I think I can do something with this. Alrighty, guys. So I got that all cleaned up and got the bolt slash pin drove out of there. Now, before I put this together, I'll smear a little bit of grease on it, but it goes together. And see, that's how pretty much that metal insert is supposed to stay still. Now here's my conundrum, guys. If I put a washer on there, there's not enough space. I'm thinking the only reason that spun in like it did is because it was seized to the bolt. And if I had a lathe, it would be real easy to make a thin washer. Because it just needs to be a thin washer, just so, you know, make sure it can't push down through there. Now, I did find a washer that'll work on there. I don't remember what I did with it now, but it was too thick, and basically it was sitting about like so. And pretty much if you'd have tightened it up, it wouldn't spin. So, what I think I'm going to do, just from an ease perspective, is I'm just going to bolt it back on like so, a little bit of grease in it, and I think it should work. Now, if I have trouble with this thing, with the insert or the bushing sliding out, the other thing I see is there's I don't know, maybe a 16th or an 8th ridge right here. You can take the grinder and grind that down, and it might be enough I can get a washer under here. The other thing I could do on top of that is then I could add a lock washer here, and that would space it out more, because the lock washer would be, you know, in between the bushing there. So that's a thought. But for now, I guess let's just bolt it back on and see what happens. Much better. Much better. Okay, now I just gotta do the other side. Of course, the second side is always way worse. Why do I always do the easy side first? Whatever. Alright, take that over to the vise and pound that out. Finally, of course, Velcro gets caught on Velcro there. There you go. Finally got that to break loose. The other one I was able to just tap out. Well, let's just try driving that down through there now and see what happens. She's hot, guys. Don't touch her. I gotta get that nut off there somehow without burning myself. You guys can see how hot that is. The metal filings are burning. Wish I had my I have one of them Harbor Freight temperature guns and see how hot I got this thing in order to get it off. I will make mention of this, guys. For any of you guys, you know, I don't have a big torch set. You know, an oxygen, acetylene, or oxygen and propane setup. But you can do a lot with MAP gas. Now, will it take you 3 times as long? Yeah, it's no replacement for a big torch, guys. I'm not going to tell you guys it is. But it'll allow you to heat a part up like this hot enough in order to get it apart. So I don't really want to tap on this because if you mushroom the threads, now I can't touch that. Put it back on. Hold on, let me get a 3/8. Another 3/8 nut here. Go in here. See if we can do this without burning myself. Come on. Please. Please. This bolt might be, oh no, I think we got it. Okay, I thought I may have mucked the threads up there a good bit. So hindsight, I should have cranked that off a couple times. Okay, well that's telling me where to stop, so let's... Okay, went down until the nut bottomed down. It's gonna go. Like I said, I just don't want to... Because once you screw the threads up, yeah, you can chase the threads and whatnot, but it's a whole lot easier if you just don't muck it up in the first place. Okay. Alright, I'm going to need my second hand to hold a punch, so hold on 1 second. Prop you guys up over here. I don't think you guys can see anyhow. Well, at least if I burn myself, you guys might be able to hear me laugh about it. Got it. Well, that's hot. And you can see on here where it's shiny and burned there, that's where I had her heated up really hot. But see all the rust down here. That's what was holding her. It took a little bit of work to break that loose, I ain't gonna lie. Alright, I'm going to go find a puddle and put these in and let them cool off, and then I will come back. Don't forget about the nut. Beautiful. So, really not much else that needs done to this. I could definitely take it out and use it. This tire over here, I was going to try and tube it, but the way these case rims are, and where the valve stem's at, let me see if I can get out of the light. You guys can kind of, there you go, that's a little better. But, yeah. I have a feeling, and I was just reading on the case forums, there's a couple guys trying to tube these tires, and They were ripping the valve stems out of them. I wonder why. They're at a pretty severe angle. But, yeah. So, I would like to put tires on this tractor, but I haven't decided that yet. Just for the simple reason, I'm not sure if you guys can pick this up on video, and I'm pretty good at kind of like hiding stuff and realizing it has bigger issues than what it has. But this motor may have a light rod knock to it. It's really hard to tell, and I've only ran this thing, say, a half hour, 40 minutes, and I drained the oil and put fresh in it. Now, granted, I didn't run it before I put fresh oil in it, but she looks like she got metal in her to me. I think you guys can see the gray there. You guys, maybe. Front's black. The back is clear with a little bit of gray, so I don't know. My theory is I would like to at least cut grass with this. I think I've mentioned it probably at least 6 times. I've never cut grass with a case. This case over here, clutch was always screwed up, so I never got a chance to cut grass with it. So I at least want to cut grass with this one time, and if at that point something blows up, something blows up. You know, it is what it is. Rear tire wise, yeah, it's got 2 different rear tires on it. I have 2 over there in a transmission that are similar to that style. If it drives me nuts, I'll change them. If not, I won't worry about them. To my knowledge, the 220 here, which you guys will probably see the 220 video before this one. The 220, I think, still has the original rear tires on it, and I think it has the original front tires on it. And like I mentioned in the 220 video, the right front on this only holds air for, I would bet you 10-20 minutes. Where at least this will hold air at least for a couple hours. But I don't want to slime it, because that turns into a big mess. If you've ever been the guy having to change the tire after that, no, I don't want to. My other thought was, I thought I took one decent tire off of my 129 Cub, and what did I do with said tire? Because there's them there. Where did them tires get stuck? You guys see it? See the pile from there? No, I'll look from over here. Alright, bear with me. Bear with me. That tire on top right there may be a good tire. I'll have to look. So here's the problem. Like I said, I can't tube these. At least I can't easily tube them. You have to get a fancy 45-degree angle or a 90-degree angle, dangle valve stem, and you know. So for right now, this tractor is just sitting in here because it's easy to pump the tire up then. I did not get this on video, but the center spindle has a grease fitting, so I greased it. The outer 2 do not. I'm not sure if they're broke off or not. If I ever have to pull this deck back off of here, I will look into that, or if I set it up in a better location. I just had this up on Harbor Freight floor jack that's like 4 or 5 years old for sure. So didn't really want to be crawling around underneath of it. If I break my arm is one thing, but if it kills me is a whole other thing. So yeah. So anyhow, I think that's going to be it for the Ingersoll 222 at this point. The old hydro drive. That's what she says there. High drive. So yeah. Mow with this. The other thing I might throw me for a loop is mowing with this. I'll have to mow the yard backwards, because this is a left-hand discharge, where a Gravely is right-hand discharge. Yep. Case was always backwards. So, but anyhow, thanks for watching, guys. The old Ingersoll 222 here. Yeah. I was actually, when I found this tractor, at the local auction. I've actually been looking for a high wheel case, like a PK or a 444 or 446, 448, 442. I mean, it would be awesome to have like a 644 with a loader on it. If anybody's got one that's in terrible shape, you know, let me know. We'll be heading north this year. I'm supposed to go to Zachary Farm Museum with the Gravely Tractor Club this year. So anybody up that way got something, let me know. And I could pick it up in I believe it's July at some point. I'll be up that way. Chambersburg in the spring. National Pike I'm going to go to. And I'm going to try like hell to make it to Rough and Tumble this year. It's something, I don't want to say it's on my bucket list, but just something I've always wanted to do because I know it's a really big steam show. So, alright guys, like I said, that's it. Rambling, talking about other weird things that don't pertain to this tractor. So, later guys. See everybody on the next one. Hopefully see you guys at the show this year. Shows. Say hi if you see me.